So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you very quickly how to create a graph in Google Sheets. And what I've done here ahead of time is I have my data in Google Sheets. In this case, I have a rocket launch, the altitude at various time points shown in the spreadsheet. And the first thing I'm going to do here is select all of this data because this is what I want to have on the graph. And I'm either going to click on this Insert Chart icon, or I can go to Insert and Chart here. Either way, that brings you to this screen. And the first thing Google does is try to predict what kind of graph you'd like to have based on the data that you've given it. Sometimes it guesses really well, and you see something that's exactly what you would like to have, and other times it displays a guess that is way off base. So either way, you can go to Chart Types and ignore the recommendations. And in my case, I want to make sure that I have these two boxes checked. This Use Row 7 as headers, that gives me my axis labels, and also Use Column A as labels. Sometimes these boxes aren't checked, and you can see that distorts the graph that you get. But in my case, I clearly want to have those boxes toggled. And yes, I do want a line graph, so that's fine. So I'm going to tell it to, before we finish, this is pretty good. This is almost what I'd like to have, but I'd like to change the title, and maybe I want to play with the axis labels. So what I can do now is go over to this Customization tab, and you can see here, the first thing I'd like to do is change the title of the graph, which it tried to predict based on the column labels that I had provided in the data. And I'm going to make this, we'll title this Rocket Altitude as a function of time. And when I click over here, it automatically updates it. The legend is fine. I'm happy with that. So I'll leave that alone. Obviously, I could take it off. Actually, let's remove it. So from this drop-down menu, I can change its location, or I can eliminate it entirely. In this case, I don't need it, so we'll take it off. Scrolling down here, I can play with some other options on the graph. Now, Google has correctly labeled my axes because I put that information into my spreadsheet. If I wanted to change the axis labels, I could do that here, the horizontal one or the vertical. Okay. In my case, I'm happy with the labels that are provided, so we'll leave those alone. Scrolling down a little further, now we get to the line that's been plotted. And in my case, this is pretty good, but what I'd like to do is actually have the data points displayed. So I can change that here under the point size option, and now I can actually see my specific data points. If you wanted to get rid of the line that's been drawn, you could do that here by simply selecting none. Oops, sorry. I'd like to put that back in. And then finally, we scroll down a little further. So we have several options here that we can play with, including the grid lines. If I wanted to have more grid lines shown here, that option is also available. But once you're happy with the way your graph looks, you simply hit Insert, and there it is. And you can, with this drop-down menu, you have the option of moving the graph to its own page, or copying it. All right, and that gives you a basic introduction to how to use Google Sheets.